Hi. Okay, let's talk fitness. I'm Susan,
And I'm Charlene.
and today we're going to talk about my fitness history.
Yeah, fitness journey.
Fitness journey.
I think there's a lot of, I want to say, followers and people close to us that never had the chance to hear your story.
By the way, we're sisters. This is one of the first questions that they ask us. Oh, are you guys friends or you were dating? No, we are sisters. And yeah, there's a lot of questions I think from people because we've been around fitness for a very long time, but I think it's great to understand why.
Exactly. And I think it's also complicated because we have a few years apart, and
Just six.
but we are close, so it seem apart but close. And currently, we live in Hong Kong, and in Hong Kong, it's not common to have two last names. But because our last name is on the second part of our name, and for some Asian countries, the last name, the family name, isn't the first part of the name, so they don't believe that we are sisters by law. So it's
Oh, by blood, by blood.
by blood or by law, by nothing, right? Uh, well, let's go from the beginning.
Yeah.
So what do you do currently for a living?
I'm right now I have two jobs. So I'm a training and events manager for the company that I've been working for the past 11 years, and I'm also I teach classes, I coach classes, and designed classes. So that's what I do.
So what's your, like, apart from your management title, what's your fitness title?
A group fitness instructor.
And when was the first time that you taught a fitness class?
Then I taught my first class. I think it was when I was 12. In my mom used to run gyms, so this was from my memory. I think that was her second gym, but don't believe me. You need to ask her because I think it was like three or more before my memory. So, and then that time, one of the most popular instructors didn't show up to class, and I remember doing six classes like every day, like doing participating. And that day, this guy didn't show up. It was like Monday, like six, big time, and then a room full of people. It was like 50 people, and then this guy didn't show up, and there's people there, and then my mom, she didn't do any choreography classes, and we have an older sister, and then at that time she wasn't into teaching, and so yeah, my mom would just say Susan, and then she's called me, and then she said, okay, bring your CD, your cassette. I think it was a cassette. Bring your cassette, and we're gonna put this in, in the sound system, and then you're going to teach a class. I remember being very small, like in high school, beginning of my high school, 12 years old. And I said, no, I don't want to do it because these people are not you're going to listen to me. It, of course, like all adults, like 50s, 40s, 30s, and then hardcore. And then I remember my mom just dragged me in front of the studio, and then she said, okay, everybody, Susan is going to teach the class, and then you're going to do whatever she says. Okay, Susan, go. And then that was my first class. My legs, when my mom was saying that, my legs were like shaking. It didn't have any control over them. It sucked. But that was my first.
By the way, we are from Colombia, um, and from the capital. So this is in
In
Bogota.
Bogota, yeah.
This is in Bogota in the 2000s before
Um, yeah.
math 90s probably.
Yeah, it was 2000s.
All right. Do you remember the first time that you saw a gym?
No, I think I was born in one gym. Like literally, my mom was there in the bench delivering. No, I don't know. I don't remember.
Delivering.
I have flashbacks of me, very small, carrying a dumbbell, and then I have some pictures, 3 years old, carrying a dumbbell. So I practically live in the gym my entire life.
Why did you choose to become a fitness instructor?
I I think I always said that I didn't choose it. It chose me. Is the best way how I can explain it. Was growing up, I started teaching classes or taking classes at the same time I was in my uni, finishing school, like finish uni. And then one of the things my mom said, like, you shouldn't be an instructor because you're going to end up without any joints, healthy joints. And then I remember getting out of high school, and then she said, like, okay, what are you going to do? And I said, I have no idea. One, we didn't have much money at that time for me to sign up for a private university. So I said I wanted to study physical education, but that is in a private university. So I said, you do whatever you want with me. This is the end of my life. I was like a pathetic teenager. And then um, she went and then she signed me up for um, nursery, like bachelor in science, but to be a nurse in one of the public universities that don't require much payment, like it's quite cheap, but you have to present an exam. Um, and then I was like, first, I'm not gonna pass because it's hard. Like only the, you know, intelligent people and brightest they just go there and then they pass. It's just a few spots. Um, and then I passed. Don't ask me how, why I did, and I didn't stop. Like I found a job there, and then I keep taking classes and doing classes, and at the same time I start to get more certificates as I was growing up, and I never stopped. And I continue until the day, and then I became, I think, a rebel. My dad at that time also said like, you don't have to work, you don't need to work, and I didn't see it as work. I saw it as like an exit from my reality, I guess. And that was my hobby. That was my passion. And then still is until today. And so I never saw it as work or as a profession. I saw it as something that I like to do, and I was getting paid for it.
I think is I think your story is fascinating because it's been so long ago. Like I think a lot of people can't imagine all the things that you've been through. Not just on how hard they are, but how many things have happened. I remember we used to live after my mom closed down the gym. We used to live in an apartment, and I remember Susan going to do aerobics classes almost every night. I don't know if this was after university or you were still in high school. I don't remember, but I just remember her going to the gym to do this every single day, and then my mom was, you know, she had her ways, and she would ask Susan, for example, to wash the dishes. And if Susan didn't wash the dishes, she would just close the door, lock the door until she washed the dishes. And like that was her motivation to wash the dishes and get the door unlocked to go and do that. And this is when she's, I think, university, right? But early university, because what time, what age did you start at university?
15. I was, yeah,
Quite
15.
young. I mean, quite young for us even, because I graduated high school at 17, so that was quite young. And then you said you found a job.
Yeah, I found a job in my uni, but I was well underage, so someone was paying, the university was paying someone, and that person was paying me. It was a mess, but it was nothing. Like it was not like a big thing.
But
There
it
were-
was a job teaching classes.
It was a job teaching classes in my uni, and then in my high school I used to teach aerobics classes. We have a subject that's called aerobics, and I remember my teacher just like literally, oh, Susan, you teach today, and I was like, I mean, you're getting paid for this, but I used to do her work. Yeah, look, that it was something that I like to do, and you're right, my I didn't have anything else. Like that was my outlet. Like the gym, doing classes, teaching classes. It was my outlet from whatever was happening at home.
If you think about it, there's there's like you've come such a long way doing, I don't want to say the same thing, but doing something that fulfills you in a similar way, and that still keeps you getting out of bed every day.
Yeah, I think is because fitness is so broad, is so big, and then because we are in contact with people in music and movement, and so apart from releasing, I was going to say releasing all the stress, um, it helps to connect with others, which it was I still struggling sometimes, and I struggled in my childhood a lot, and is to connect with others. But when I'm on stage, or what, not even when I'm on stage, I feel like I'm connecting with people, and so that's one of the things that keeps the fire alive, I guess. um, and now where I am now, that I am able to maybe to design different classes, and then to um, to 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 give,
An input.
yeah, to give an input, or just to transmit what I consider is not right, but it has worked for me throughout the years, and then help other instructors in the journey, and members is just very rewarding.
I agree. I, I the way I would see it is that I don't know. Do you still feel the same when you jump on stage?
What do you mean excited?
Yeah.
I think the feeling and the motivations and everything has changed, has shifted. I used to think, oh no, I get paid for what I like to do. Or at one point, I get paid for, burning calories, which, I mean, this is one of the reasons. But sometimes it's just different. Like every single class, it's is different. I'm not gonna lie. Like for us, as group fitness instructors, we just need to go and step up on the stage, and then we have to give our 100%. And this is something that my mom used to say to me. And then she said, like, look, when you're there, everything else in your life has to disappear because people go there for you, for the service, for the class, for the music, for the experience. They don't really care about what happened to you. Then it's just something that you offer. So, and then that's stuck in here in my mind. And so when I step on stage, sometimes I'm broken, like broken. Sometimes my heart is broken, my mind is broken, I'm tired, and then I think you can relate. Knees hurts, body hurts, but it just bring back this motives, this motivation, and say I'm here for them, I'm here for myself too, and then just do it. So the excitement comes and goes, and but it's still there.
Well, thank you for sharing. I think it shines a light as well on how, you know, we both, because I know you wanted to do aerobic fitness.
Yeah, competitive aerobics. Yeah. So it's where you build a routine with gymnastics and then aerobics, and then it's like 1 or 2 minutes. Imagine it's, I think it's almost like artistic gymnastics from the Olympics or something, but in the fitness side. Don't believe my name, my label.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom didn't let me do it because she was again afraid that I was gonna break my bones or something. Um, but that's okay. I mean, I did 300 million things, but that was one of the things that.
Yeah. I think that's a conversation for another time because it was not the only thing you did, but it also shines a light on how you being the middle sister, me being the youngest, and even our elder sister, we were not enrolled to practice any sport. We were not enrolled because I think that's not something that we had in our family. I think
Yeah.
some people do it in our country, but you need certain things, not necessarily money, but you need certain things. Like some parents are like, "Hey, I'm gonna take you to this, and then you're gonna practice the sport forever and ever." And I think we didn't have that because our parents were not prepared, I guess, for that kind of thing. And fitness was very present in your life, anyways.
I think fitness was my sport, and it's still my sport. Call it like this.
That's a great way to call it, yeah.
Yeah, there's still people today ask me, "Oh, you should be great at rugby." Yeah, I was like, I'm sure, I'm sure it will be great, but I have never, like practiced it or ball games. I'm afraid of ball games.
And then it not just not practicing a sport professionally or practicing for many years, but as well as not not being well off, where you kind of were kind of trying to earn this money to practice your own thing, so you work a little bit that you were not well paid, and that allowed you to go and do the or other aerobic classes. And then things at home were very tight, so like I'm pretty sure that most of the times that you found how to go to the gym and how to work out, it was because it was on your own expense. And it's always been the same case. I mean, our parents couldn't do much. I mean, but then
Yeah, they did a lot, and
they couldn't do much from taking care of us.
yeah.
But you really built a career, you know, on your own.
If I'm honest, my dad was like a stone in my shoe, as supposed to be a supporter. if that makes sense. And my mom was supportive, uh, but she didn't have the means. So she was just helping me to hide whatever I was doing from my dad, and while I was getting the means and the money to do it. So that was all the things that I received. So you're right. So I built it up, um, but I don't regret anything. It enabled a lot of things in me, and and then yeah, that show how stubborn I am.
No, that's not being stubborn. I think that's a great thing. I think that's something to keep in mind, especially when you have lows, you know, because I think being a group fitness instructor is underrated.
Yeah, but that's a conversation that we have for another
For another time,
time.
but
Yeah.
still underrated. And then talking about your story itself, it's a, I think it's an inspiration to learn where you're coming from, even if it's briefly, and and to see that, you know, standing on the stage and do what you're doing after so many years, because it's been a lot of years, it is not really, you know, it's not really pride, it's not cockiness, it's not, it just really comes from you're just showing up. And then you have to show up when you were 11, 12, and you're still showing up.
Yeah, I think yeah, it helped me to build my confidence. Just stepping on that stage, and then you have to do it. Like you have to do it, or you are going to be eaten alive. And that wasn't an option for me to be eaten alive. And regardless of my extroverted, um, introverted
Personality.
personality, um, I developed my extrovert traits, and and that has had great impact in a lot of people that I have come across, including you, I guess, and and then a lot of other people, including members and friends and everything. And so, yeah, that's about me and a little bit of my story.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah, we will talk about more about group fitness and other things soon. So